Hello everyone, my name is Ashpreet and I welcome you all to this session. Today we are going to discuss grade 10th CBSE poem, The Tale of Custard the Dragon by Ogden Nash. So the poet in this poem tries to ridicule the persons who put up faces of being brave and courageous, but in times of crisis prove big cowards. So we're going to start with the first and second stanza. So a girl named Belinda, lived in a little white house. She had some pet animals, and they included a little meow black kitten, a little grey mouse, a little yellow dog, and of course, a coward dragon. So she also had a red wagon. She named her little black meow kitten as Ink. The little grey mouse was called Blink. The dog was called Mustard, and she named her dragon as Custard. So moving on to third and fourth stanza. In this, we get to know more about Custard the dragon. Custard the dragon had big teeth. On top of his body, he had spikes, pointed projections, and underneath them, he had scales. Now, what are scales? They are thin plates of hard material that covers the skin of other animals. If you've seen fish, they have scales. So were the scales with Custard the dragon. His mouth, it acted as fireplace, and the nose as chimney. So there were real daggers, knife, if we talk about his toes. Belinda and her bravery, on the other hand, is compared to group or barrel of beers put together. That's how brave she was. And if we talk about Ink and Blink, they would boast that they would chase away lions down the stairs. Mustard, on the other hand, was considered to be as brave as tiger in rage. But if we talk of Custard the dragon, he would simply ask everyone to put him back to his cage. He begged to be safe, to be there in his safe cage. Moving on to fifth and sixth stanza. Belinda always teased the poor Custard in an unmerciful manner. And if we talk of Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they would rudely call him Percival. Now, who's Percival? He's a character in old romances, a guard to a king, who's known for his childish habits, childish nature. So they were all sitting in the little red wagon and laughing at the dragon, making fun of him, calling him a coward. Belinda laughed so loud that she almost shook the entire house. And if we talk about the mouse, it laughed in its own way. But the poor Custard was still targeted. Ink and Mustard would rudely ask that, "What's your age, Custard?" Which probably projects that though he was grown up, but still he acted like a kid who always asked for being safe, to be put in the safe cage. Moving on to seventh and eighth stanza. Belinda, Ink, Blink, Mustard suddenly heard an unpleasant sound. Mustard growled and he looked all around. Ink and Belinda cried for help because they had seen the pirate, the robber, climbing up the window. The pirate had a pistol in his left hand, another in his right hand, and he was holding a little sword in his teeth. His beard was black and one of his legs was made of wood. It was clear that he didn't mean any good to them, and he was there to harm, to destroy them. Moving on to 9th, 10th and 11th stanza. On seeing the robber, Belinda went pale and she cried for help. Mustard gave a cry full of fear and ran away quickly. Ink quietly slipped down the stairs. And if we talk about the little mouse, it smartly planned its way to its mouse hole. And that's when Custard came to rescue them. Custard jumped at once to help them. He was snorting like an engine. He struck his tail angrily here and there, and it made all sorts of sounds, especially the ones that are made with iron chains in underground prisons. So as he twisted his tail, it made clattering, clanking, jangling sounds. And it flew at the robber. It attacked the robber, just like the robin bird attacks a worm. The robber could do nothing but gape at Belinda's dragon. He pulled out a big bottle of wine from his pocket and gulped some of it, just how Popeye reacts when he confronts an enemy. And then he fired 2 bullets at the dragon. But they didn't hit the dragon. Custard caught hold of the pirate and he greedily ate every bit of him. Moving forward to 12th, 13th and 14th stanza. So after the pirate had been killed, Belinda came and embraced, hugged the dragon. Mustard came, licked him. Ink and Blink danced around him. They were very happy. And no one mourned for the pirate who had fallen a victim to the dragon. They were all celebrating. But soon the little dog Mustard spoke up. He said if he had not been confused, so confused, he would have been twice as brave as Custard. And then Ink and Blink too said the same thing. They said that they could have been thrice as brave as Custard if they had not felt confused. On hearing Ink, Blink and Mustard brag about their bravery, Custard said that I agree. I agree with what you say. You're very brave. You're braver than me. So that brings us to the next and the last part of the poem. The last 2 stanzas They're just a repetition of the first and the fourth stanza. They show that the habits die hard. In spite of their encounter with the pirate, nobody had learned the lesson. So things were still the same. And the poet tells us that there's this girl, Belinda, who lived in a little white house with her pet animals, a kitten, a mouse, a dog, and Custard the dragon. And Custard the dragon still asks for a safe cage. So that's all about the poem. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. If you like the poem, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.